Welcome to the lyric analysis video on my channel. My name is Corncob, and I will be explaining all the lyrics to the infamous by now Handsome Jack versus Adam rap battle by Corncob. It's cute that y'all think you're the heroes of this fan fiction because you casted out the only man in the clouds who had some damn vision. This is the opener to the battle. He's referencing two things. One, the intro to Borderlands 2, which is it's like a puppet of Jack tied to a bunch of explosives. He's telling the Vault Hunters on the train that they think they're the heroes in this story, which is Jack's story, but they're not. He's also making the connection of Lucifer in the story of Hazbin Hotel, how he was casted out of heaven because he was the only one with original ideas. Jack thinks that's complete bullshit. If I was your solution, which you made out of jealousy, replacing him with the biggest cherub that heaven has ever seen. Cherubs in the story of Hazbin Hotel are these toddler-like angels that go down to heaven and try to convince people to live. Jack is referring to Adam in this line. His opponent, he's calling him a giant cherub, basically calling him a big man baby, which Adam absolutely is. There is no denying that. And also saying that heaven replaced Lucifer with Adam. Basically, that's what happened, yeah. For business is more consistent than the dimwit with the written list to his limits. This is a reference to in the court scene in, I believe, episode 6, where Adam writes the list of the 3 rules that will get you into heaven. Jack is saying if this is the foundation of heaven, it's a really weak system compared to Hyperion, which is a way superior business. Since Helios, I've had eyes all over. I see the spoon that you were given. Screw with me, buddy, and I'll show you what I can do with it. A lot of things here. First part of when Jack took over the Hyperion business, he discovered the Eye of Helios, which is the first final boss in the first Borderlands game, was actually powering the laser that Hyperion uses. So it's saying he's got eyes all over, because, you know, he has constant surveillance on Pandora and all that. In Borderlands 2, there is not a cutscene, but Jack tells you about a time when he killed a man with a spoon after raiding his village, you know, coming at him over and over again. So he's saying, people like you, if you keep testing me, he's basically just saying, I'm gonna stab your eye out with a spoon. But it's not out of character for Jack. I think that's a fun callback line to like the 3 people that still play Borderlands. Why am I whom you got a bone to pick? Go beef with the guy that stole your rib and promised you a life of ownership, but both times, both wives said no to it. He's saying, why are you dissing me? Why are you having a battle with me? You know I'm gonna win. Go beef with the guy that stole your rib instead. Everybody knows that God took one of Adam's ribs in the story and used it to create Eve. But in Visipop's altercation, you know, he still took the rib, created Eve, who left Adam because she didn't like his leadership. And before that, Lilith, his first wife, also left him. So, you know, 2 people left him there. That's crazy. God promised him that he would be, you know, a ruler with these wives. Tough luck, dude. Why would I invest in angelic weapons? A couple of rocks are plenty. Jack is a businessman, obviously. We all know that about old Jackie boy. He's saying, why would he make an investment in these random useless items when all it takes is a couple of rocks to kill you guys? That is a reference to a what's the word? A plot hole in the season finale of Hazbin Hotel. What's her name? That one bitch that works for Adam. She gets crushed by a couple of rocks and almost dies, you know, rips her arm off. Even though in the story they say only angelic weapons can kill them, but that's clearly not true. I'd offer you to off yourself, but Vivian did that already. I'm gonna have to censor this part. A few things. There's also a side quest in Borderlands 2 where Jack basically says if you yourself, he will pay you money when you respawn, or you could go to the hotline and not get the money. This is also a reference to the fact that Adam Brightman? I'm gonna go with that. Adam Brightman voices both Adam and Sir Pentious in Has Been Hotel. In the season finale, Adam kills Sir Pentious. This is a joke Jack is making on saying he's offing himself, you know, because it's the same character. So you're Reese's bitch, right? You sure did love to scam gamblers till someone else let the chips die. In Tales of the Borderlands, Reese is the main character and owns the chip that brings a hologram of Handsome Jack back to life. You know, he uploaded his sentience into that chip. This is a reference to both that and a DLC in Borderlands 3 where Handsome Jack runs this casino. You know, how poker chips and all that, letting the chip die is getting rid of it. He's saying when Reese got rid of the chip, letting Handsome Jack die. Ever since your metropolis toppled, your shtick has got under, but you should thank us for saving you from that god-awful blockbuster. After Handsome Jack's death, everything went to shit in the Hyperion nation and his little town, whatever it's called. It was like Opportunity or something. Yeah, he's saying you have nothing now, your legacy's gone, but thank God, at least you weren't in the Borderlands movie. We all know that was really bad. Thank God, thank heaven, thank us, because Jack does say thank God sometimes, so he does believe that there's a God in it. Fair, your game did well, somehow your bitching did sell, then people saw your actor did sell, and everyone split ways with this incel. Lot to unpack here. Handsome Jack's English voice actor is also the voice actor in the English dub for Dragon Ball Z, Cell. Yeah, the English voice for Cell, they're the same guy. He's saying your game was fine, you know, it sold, even though you were a really annoying character. That's debatable. As people found out you did Cell, everybody went to that, because we know Cell is a way more popular character than Handsome Jack, let's be real. I wouldn't say they're on the same quality, but he's way more popular. And then everyone split ways with this incel. Split ways as in, you know, how atoms split and combine. No, how cells, well, I guess that makes sense. Atoms and cells split and combine. Everyone split ways with this incel. I don't know, he says a lot of awful things to women and treats them horribly. Even though he did have a wife, but she's dead now, so I don't know. I wouldn't expect Adam to make a line very, you know, flawless. A fucking masterpiece comes from whatever Adam leaves. So if you want to be a better dad, get on your knees and cleanse my apple seeds. Handsome Jack is a absolutely terrible father to Angel. Everybody knows that. Adam is saying everything I leave is perfect. You know, I created the earth, I created the human species, I'm creating everything, and it's awesome. So you should get on your knees and cleanse for me, and I can leave something in you to make you a better dad. That's disgusting, and if I'm not gonna explain it, it's so gross. And then he starts flexing for a bit. See the hordes that realize I'm the goat, they rely on this liar to line on their dough, saying I'm the goat as in the horns, both as an angel and also probably a demon. They rely on this liar to line on their dough. You're being revived to keep your series alive. How is half the screen time on the phone? Handsome Jack is a character that is brought back a lot of times in the continuity to keep the games alive, because Borderlands is not that good without him. I'm gonna be so real with you. He's saying if you're so popular and they keep having to bring you back, why is half your screen time on the phone? Reference to the fact that Handsome Jack calls you a lot of times in the game through the walkie-talkie system, and he doesn't actually have that much time on screen. Everyone that he loved went and blasted their trust, turned their backs on this jack-off. I can see the betrayal lined in his face. Next time, just keep the mask on. So, in the pre-sequel to Borderlands, it's revealed that all the main characters betrayed Handsome Jack, you know, and Lilith actually punched the symbol of the vaults into his face. Jack off as in, you know, an insult, but also Handsome Jack. I could see the betrayal lined in his face, not just from the trauma, but because the scars are literally, you know, lined in his face. He can't get them off. Next time, just keep the mask on, you know, just wear it because you're butt ugly. I refuse to lose to a parody in poor taste. you couldn't handle furries in a kangaroo court case, reference back to episode 6 of Has Been Hotel, but also, you know, him standing back up when he's about to die at the end of Borderlands 2. He's like, no, 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 I won't die to a bunch of bandits. Parody in poor taste. He's calling Has Been Hotel, you know, a parody of the Bible that's very disgusting, very vulgar, and he's not wrong at all. You couldn't handle furries in a kangaroo court case. The main cast of Has Been Hotel are commonly referred to as, you know, like furry characters. Kangaroo court case, he's calling the court, you know, unfair and unjust, which it is based on Adam's 3 rules that he makes up on the spot, and somehow they were too much for him. If you weren't so loosely tied to the Bible, you'd be a bandit under my title, who got abandoned being sent to double hell by a tiny psycho. He's saying, you know, if your entire character wasn't carried by being from the Bible, you'd just be a bandit, you'd just be another psychopath, who got abandoned being sent to double hell. Reference to the pilot of Has Been Hotel. Angel Dust makes a joke about double hell and how Adam died twice, you know, it just kind of fades from existence, by a tiny psycho. That is a joke on Nifty, the character who kills Adam, being compared to like the little psycho guys from Has Been Hotel. From Borderlands? What the fuck? Pairing my Lilith to yours, I'm winging Smokin' Babes. Your girl played with a turret and ended with its Smokin' Babes. So the Lilith in Borderlands is, you know, the Siren, one of the main characters, and the Lilith in Has Been Hotel is Adam's first wife who left him. From my Lilith to yours, I'm winging Smokin' Babes, as in, you know, really cool women. You know, Jack hates Lilith and all that. Girl played with a turret and ended with its Smokin' Babes. Jack's daughter accidentally shot a burglar and her mom with a turret, which we find out in Borderlands 3. That's why Jack had locked her up. Ended with a Smokin' Babes. That just means, like, you know, shooting his wife. And while there's no redemption inside that void where you're heading, at least your fathership left another angel in heaven. Oh, zinger! Back to Tales of the Borderlands, Handsome Jack reveals that there is no afterlife in the Borderlands world. It just goes black. After that, he's saying, well, there's no redemption for you, you can't get out of it, it's just darkness forever. At least your fathership, quote unquote, left another angel in heaven, as in his terrible fathership to Angel convinced her to herself with the help of the Vault Hunters. And, you know, she went to heaven and all that. That's gonna be it for the lyric video. This writing is a lot rougher than I remember it being, but I don't know, we had fun. Have a good day. Holy shit.